Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. NRG have explained exactly how they came to the decision of signing the roster they now have, with Ethan and Demon1 joining from Evil Geniuses just the other day. However, they trialed so many players over the last few months, including Sarlacc and also including Ye, before Ye then got a mega bag offer and went to Bleed Esports instead. So many interesting details to dive into today. Very much interested your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. As I say, plenty of roster stuff to get into. We'll quickly mention here in the Chinese region, of course, they're getting ready. The Ascension stuff is going on at JD Gaming. That's going to be one of the teams in the official league for next season. They've signed Mr. Carney, so a player that's previously been around over the last couple of years. He's going to go in there. So plenty of teams just before the season begins, still making changes. Probably makes sense in China, just because, you know, lots of those teams are pretty new. We're only confirmed in the Pro League just the other day, really, as it seems. However, that does not mean that around the world, other teams aren't doing similar things. Now, quickly, just to update here on the Chinese Ascension tournament, we had Attacking Soul Esports just take down Ninjas in Pajamas 2-0 here. So, big victory for them. We actually didn't see from NIP this time the use of Deadlock. That didn't come out in this series. A fair bit of Gecko, though interesting for sure. But yeah, Breeze was 13-7, Haven was 13-11. So NIP go down to the losers bracket. They'll play the loser of this series, Rare Atom versus Dragon Ranger Gaming. And this has just got underway, really, but Rare Atom taking an early lead here on the split. So we'll see how that one develops. But yeah, looking like Attacking Soul Esports maybe versus Rare Atom in the upper final. And if that turns out to be the case, you know, it's going to be only one of these teams makes it into next year's Pro League, and that's a massive story for all involved. Quick code name for the new agent, the Smoke Dancer. So talk about that as you potentially will. We saw some teasers of it yesterday. This is now the new agent codename that's supposedly been revealed. Definitely another update I wanted to bring you guys on Safe, of course, for Team Vitality. I believe that Marved even mentions that Safe was potentially a consideration for their NRG roster. They at least thought about it, but in the end, Safe's ended up on Vitality. However, over the Christmas period, Safe has not been so well. He actually tweets out here on Christmas Day, didn't expect myself to end up in hospital on this day. Fingers crossed for me. We'll post a short update once everything clears. And then he goes on to say, yesterday I was experiencing hallucinations, very high fevers, you know, almost 40 degrees C, which is very dangerous, extreme nausea, couldn't walk without my dad helping me, vomiting, incapable of going to sleep for 2 days. So this sounds pretty serious, right? And he says that he had COVID a couple of weeks ago, maybe just a while back, that's weakened his immune system, and now even common illnesses are causing extreme side effects. So, you know, I guess that's good that it's just a common illness causing this stuff, but still really unfortunate for Safe. Wishing him the best, I guess. Look, never a good time to be ill over this type of period, but I guess it's in some ways it's better now than it is when the season starts. So hopefully Safe can get rested up and, you know, it'll take a few days of rest. Hopefully we'll be back and ready to go for the new year. Quick update as well for you guys on the COM situation and exactly what's going on at Leviathan. We talked about it in some detail yesterday that they were potentially going to drop Nosware and bring COM into the roster. Now, many people have had their thoughts on this. There was even this discussion here that Com's a good player, but, you know, he wasn't incredibly important to their World Championship victory. They could have replaced him with somebody else and they'd have been fine. Effectively, the indication is LEV should not be going all out to get Com. They should keep the team as it is. However, internally, it's been a bit of a mess behind the scenes. So Lembo went on stream here, and thanks to Macario Pro for putting all this on the Reddit, just running down what he has understood for what's happening behind the scenes right now at LEV. And it's actually really interesting. So he says there were internal conflicts going on at LEV, that they were a long time coming, and finally reached a breaking point on the 24th, which is usually a time of year you'd have thought the players would be taking a break and wouldn't really be, you know, having an absolute bust up behind the scenes, but apparently not. Lembo mentioned that he wouldn't name the particulars on this case, but that those issues were addressed in a players' meeting, and that a player or players have therefore asked for the exit of Nosra, as we saw just the other day. Leviathan management wasn't aware of the meeting, though, and Lembo's sources said that no decision has been made. Apparently, therefore, meetings are now underway, and, you know, Nosra in question has felt that his teammates have already made the decision, which is why he's removed everything from his profile, despite the fact fact that apparently LEV as an organization haven't yet made this decision. So it's very interesting that apparently not all players asked for his exit from the team. Some of them don't agree with the demands, and that other things were said between players due to the airing of the issues. He reiterates that LEV's management only learned of the meeting afterwards, and that the idea of subbing him out didn't come from them. So Lembo expresses disbelief and contempt that such a meeting would happen on Christmas Eve, and categorically denies LEV was negotiating with Com at that point. So all very interesting stuff. And the belief seems to be that for whatever reason, there was drama between the players behind the scenes, all culminating on Christmas Eve of all days. Noswer now thinks he's gone because the players in general want him gone, but maybe one of the two of the players don't want him gone and actually would prefer him to stay. LEV management is now thinking, well, if the players want him gone, we probably have to get rid of him, and therefore let's speak to Com, let's speak to other players to try and resolve the situation. But yeah, never ideal. He also talks about Pancada and says that the situation is very new to the management, and therefore, you know, they talked to Com because the Orc had a good relationship with the player they'd already had talks with before they got techs. So, you know, management is back from the holidays basically now, and now they can maybe discuss whether they can even get Pancada. So, you know, it's kind of crazy. They have time to figure this out, but it's not a time that you'd expect to be having roster chaos behind the scenes. But this is esports, baby. There's always roster chaos just a little bit around the corner. So there was some further talk on whether Com would be a good idea or not. But of course, he was on Evil Geniuses. He is still, for now, on Evil Geniuses. But two players that are no longer on Evil Geniuses are in this picture. We see Demon in the background, and of course, we see Ethan in the foreground with Marved, Victor, and Crashies. That was always going to be the team of three here on NRG. So lots of talking points here from Chet and from Marved on exactly how they came to this roster. We've known that it was a long time coming. We've rumoured around this roster for probably 3 months at this point. But before that time, and when it didn't look like they were going to be able to get these guys, it seemed to be chaos at NRG. They were trying all sorts of players, trialing everyone left, right, and centre. There were so many rumours on who NRG were trying. You know, we remember the Sadak to NRG rumours. There was lots of stuff going around. NRG seemed to then be in a bit of a mess when they didn't get their primary targets, but then as it's turned out, they eventually got the guys that they probably really wanted after they came to the negotiation with Evil Geniuses. So this is what Marved and Chet have to say on it, but a few pretty crazy possibilities in here.
Like the first one?
The like Sadak, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's gonna be
just not the other one.
Not the other guy? Oh no, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We don't say everything.
It's gonna be me, Crashies, Victor, Sadhack, Narrate, or me, Crashies, Victor, Valen, and Trent.
Yeah. Those are like, okay. The Trent one was like very possible. Well, honestly, both of them were super possible.
You said, what the fuck, you? Narrate hard loss? I mean, yo, this kid was farming in scrims, yo.
Narrate is pretty fucking good.
He's good. You guys will see. I mean, we were playing with them. We were playing against Loud during champs, right? We were scrimming against Loud during champs. This kid dropped like 35 on them. Against Aspaz, your favorite player. Gyro, thanks for 35 months. How was it trialing with Demon 1? We didn't even play a single game with them, I think.
Yeah, we didn't at all.
We didn't play a single game with them. I think he was on vacation or some shit.
You just know the kid's good. Like, what's there to trial?
I was asking the. I think they spotted us now.
Oh yeah, we did try Ye actually.
Oh yeah, we tried Ye. Did we try him with Neri?
Yeah, I think so.
Why no Ye?
I mean, Ye had an opportunity of a lifetime, bro. Like, I'm not gonna deny him. Maybe someday.
I wanted to try Safe. Oh yeah, we tried Korean Baby Bay as well. And Poised. Why did NRG get you instead of Pancada? I don't really know.
Is this from Trick right back of the early part of September when there were rumours going around that Sadak to NRG was a legitimate possibility. And then, of course, they also talk about Valin and Trent as a potential duo they could have signed as well from, you know, formerly the Guard, now G2. That would have been kind of interesting in terms of roles, but I think that nowadays the meta is, and NRG totally understand this, as do the new EG guys, that you've got to be very versatile as players. So this was back when we thought that, okay, John QT to Sen, Vanity to Cloud9, EG, Boostio was still a thing at this point, we believed, and of course Valen was thought to be getting an offer potentially elsewhere, but yeah, Sadak NRG, they confirmed that was a valid option, but of course that never went through. And then they also talk about Ye, like they actually trialed Ye for this team, which makes sense, let's be honest. I mean, you know, Ardis is gone, run it back for the Optic days, try Ye, bring him in, and they probably would have got Ye. I mean, if you think about it, the way they talked about it, you know, why not get Ye back unless he got the mega bag, which is, it's crazy to think about that even in North America, with these teams that are, you know, wealthier, they still have more money. Some of these NA teams, some a little bit really, depends on the way you look at it, but you know, the salaries in NA are still higher than in other regions, generally speaking. So NRG, probably, if they wanted Ye, which they might well have done, could have given him an offer of something, but that offer that they gave Ye could not even come close, if they did give him an offer, to what Bleed Esports can support over in Singapore. So that's where the rumours of, like, you know, $1 million a year, or $1 million over 2 years, or whatever, are coming through for Ye. And that's why Chet's like, well, you know, we can't deny him that. So Ye then went off and did that, and for very understandable reasons. So there was also talk as well about, you know, potentially even getting Safe and other players they tried, like Poised and all this type of stuff. So pretty crazy number of options that were on the table for them. But in the end, of course, they settled on Ethan and Demon 1 after they got that move done. And you've got to say, the idea that they never trialed with Demon 1 is pretty interesting, right? They, you know, Demon 1 was on holiday in Japan, wasn't he? So apparently that was when they were trying to, you know, they pretty wanted to do some trials with him, but he was on vacation. It was never possible, so they just decided to just sign him anyway. Now, I don't think this should be a concern. I know that some people will say, oh, well, you know, they've not even played with Demon 1 yet. Is it going to work? But when you've got a player as talented as Demon 1, I don't really think you think twice about the situation. The trials in Valorant, you know, some esports do trials. Some esports don't do trials, like in Call of Duty, that obviously I'm familiar with because that's my, you know, other main channel, whatever. They don't do trials in that because the game, there's a new game every year. So they physically, you know, they can't really do it. They can't trial with a new player. So they just pick the player they think is going to work. They talk to them and then they sign them. That's job done. And then they see in a couple of months whether it's going to work. And in regular sports, it's the same thing. You know, there's no trials with players in regular sports. You have a look at them. Do they work? You know, maybe you could do a bit of training with them, but you're not going to play an actual match with them or anything like this. And if you think that player was a good fit for your team, then you get them signed. So yes, this is semi-unusual in Valorant. Usually, if you want to sign a player, you'll trial them for a bit. You'll play a couple of scrims, see if it's going to work. But NRG didn't do any of that with Demon 1. They weren't able to. So, you know, they just trusted that he's going to be a great player, which I'm sure he will. And also the comment on Narrate. We know that Narrate was going to be there, we believe. I think they said it was even going to be, you know, Narrate and Ye, or certainly Narrate and Sadak, and then, you know, Narrate was dropping like 35 kills on Loud in scrims, and Marved says that, yeah, Narrate, you'll see him this season when he plays, of course, on Carmine Corp that he's now going to, that he's going to be an absolute force. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.